Put your hands together for your next amazing performer. Put your hands together, let's get it going for Maurice Vince.
Aloha, everybody. Let's put this bad boy to the side here. To be here tonight, we've all spent a weekend in a sit-down comedy club with Fiona, our beautiful host tonight. One of the first things she actually taught us to do is not to be funny. Try not to be funny, she said. I went home pumped that night and said to my missus, I might have chances to win this thing. I tried to talk more about my feelings. It's a tough one. I remember back in the day when I was a little boy, I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I need you to teach me about feelings. Son, he said, I too have feelings. Sometimes, mostly in winter, I feel cold. I said, thanks, Dad, appreciate it. We better park that conversation here and never pick it up again. I came to Australia 6 years ago. I'm from Germany, the north of Germany, right at the Baltic Sea. It's a beautiful spot, plenty of beaches around. It's just that we have like 3 weeks of sunshine a year, so as always, Germany finds a way to fuck it up. What we also have, we have a big free body culture. It's called Freikörperkultur, or short, FKK. It's a bit weird, because it sounds like the KKK, but instead of those white robes and those long pointed hats, their thing is to wear absolutely nothing. Yeah, they love to be butt naked. And they don't do any of that racism shit. We don't do that stuff anymore in Germany. Remember, we had that little angry Austrian guy? He's fucked it for all of us. No one in Germany can be offensive anymore. We feel guilty as hell. That's why I came over here. No one feels guilty in Australia. Being offensive is like a highly valued trait. Swearing is like a national sport. Here's an example. I moved to Noosa this year, and recently I went out for a surf. So I'm not very good at surfing, and apparently I broke some unwritten surf law, and I stole some old guy his wave. Now here's what he said to me, literally. Oi, what are you doing, you fucking piece of shit? First of all, I was very unpleasantly surprised. But then I remembered where I was, and I thought, oh, I love Australia. Anyway, FKK. So I take one of my mates to those beaches, those FKK nudie spots, and the first thing we see is literally a guy in his mid-80s putting down the towel for the day in downward dog fashion, like this. Most fascinating thing though, whilst he's in that position, his balls still touch the ground. Sie Germans. Not all is bad in Germany though. One thing we are very proud of is our Autobahn. You know, in Australia, there's a speed limit of 110, maybe 120. Where I'm from, we got something called standard speed, which is 130. Just to be sure, standard speed is defined as the minimum you need to drive to be allowed to the party. Coming over here and realizing I need to drive the fraction of the speed in a country that's 20 times the size of mine drives me mad. I think it's gotten me an efficiency trauma. Ever heard of that? Efficiency trauma? It's a real common thing in Germany. If it's not efficient, I get a bit itchy, feel a bit uncomfortable. Ooh. My first car was a Polo Volkswagen 86C. Was 2 years older than me and all but flashy. Yet, I could still legally drive it faster than a Lamborghini in Australia. On a German Autobahn, we got 3 lanes. The slow lane, going around 120 to 140. The middle lane, going around 140 to 180. And then we got the fast lane, which is going for gold. Usually reserved for broke gamblers and failed businessmen. What one has to learn early in Australia is the artful way of greeting. It goes something like this. How you going, mate? Important thing to remember is not to fool yourself. No one actually gives a fuck about how you going. It's more like a hi. I used to start a conversation based on this. Something like, oh, thank you, sir. I'm very good indeed. It's a delightful day. How are you going? But people just kept on walking. Fucking fuck off, dickhead. You gotta love the Australians. You gotta love them. My mom always used to tell me I'm not allowed to say back in the day until I'm at least 30. Guess what? I'm 30 now. So hands down, I started abusing that phrase. We all love to do it, don't we? We all have a back in the day story. Something like, back in the day, I was in the shape of my life. I was having marathons for breakfast and a chest like Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's an important thumb rule for guys. 2 out of 10 back in the day stories are over the top. The other 8 of 10 are way over, like way, way over. Haven't we all met that guy who tells us a story of back in the day and it just doesn't make sense at all? None of the facts add up. It's just absolute bullshit. But you can't be fucked to interrupt the story because it's just gonna make it even longer. But what you do instead is you agree with your entire body to make an end to the conversation. Something like, yes, absolutely. Now shut the fuck up. Question. Might be one for the lads. If you were to have sex with a mermaid for the rest of your life, would you take the classic implemented picture of a human upper body and a fish tail? Or would you take the only alternative, which is a fish head with human legs? Now, I have thought this through, and I'll take the fish head. Don't judge me. Let me explain to you why first. Now, on first view, it seems very obvious. I mean, Disney has played his part in it, but I bet you can't listen to Ariel forever without ever fucking her. I mean, there's blowjobs, but it's not the same, is it? But what really tipped me over the edge was thinking about the living situation. A fishtail? She can't even walk. Do I need to keep her in a fish tank? So many questions. People who get to know me often ask, what is wrong with you, Maurice? And the only honest answer I can give to that question is, a lot. There's no point trying to hide shit. My partner, she's from England. And recently, she brought home some English food. I mean, if you can call that stuff food. We're talking battered sausages, ship buddies, greasy chips, beer battered fish. The healthiest part on that meal was the cigarette after. We're trying to be better to the environment. Now, here's some really good news. We got a little baby boy on the way who's due this year. Woo! Now, you all know diapers. Apparently, diapers absolutely screw Mother Nature. All right, we say, let's take this serious. What's the alternative? There is an alternative, and the alternative is called reusable diapers. Comes with a big ass though. You need to hand scrap the shit out of them. Sometimes up to 8 times a day. Sorry, Mama Nature, not sure if that's happening. Going through the experience of being pregnant together, it's mesmerizing. I especially like the uncontrolled farting and burping. Sometimes she does them also. Whilst we're on the topic, let's talk about farting. Farting in a work environment. You know, when I fart in work, the first thing I do is I check for all possibilities of someone approaching me within the next 2 to 5 minutes. Once the area is clear, I make sure I get into a position where it's least likely that the fart is going to make a sound. If it does make a sound though, I immediately try and imitate that sound through the movement of some object around me. We've all done that, haven't we? Farted, came out a little bit loud, and you try to imitate that sound through some pathetic chair movement. I hate to state it to you, but everyone's heard it. The most annoying thing though is, Even if you tick all the boxes and you finally get to fart, how is it that someone pokes their head out of nowhere? Hi! And you're like, yeah, hi. Fuck, don't come near me. But that person comes straight in to invade your personal space. Depending on how close your relationship is, you either crack a joke about it, or you just stand there, awkwardly, in disgust with yourself. The joys of life. Guys, I'm trying to get out my comfort zone as much as possible, and tonight I thought, what's further out the comfort zone than being German and trying to be funny at the same time? On that note, thank you all, you're absolute legends. Have a wonderful night. Cheers.